If instead of rebooting movies, retelling them from a different point of view became popular, which movie would you like retold? The Matrix told from Agent Smith's POV. Dude is doing everything he can to prevent a bunch of smelly rebels trying to ruin his battery factory. The Matrix could have used cows for the entire thing. Just an endless green field of happy cows, forever. What does a cow want, after all? Instead it opted to give humanity an existence. It even tried to create a perfect world for them, but some restriction of its AI or humanity's basic hubris meant that it just had to go back to a relatively peaceful point in history, the 1990s, and give them that instead. Despite the fact that humanity fought a genocidal war against it and lost, it still did this. Even when we kept on fighting and even conjured up some sort of messiah figure, it just let us get on with it in our silly little world. The Matrix showed us vastly more compassion than we would have shown it if the war had gone the other way. Edit yo, I have about 100 replies now. Thank you all for taking the time to do so, and I'll try to get back to you with my half-baked thoughts as soon as possible. Originally it was actually using humans for computer power, but someone changed that into energy. I love that original idea. A shame they didn't go with it. It would have been so simple to just explain. Humanity's imagination. The brain's ability to create and comprehend. The AI tap into it to help with their own calculations. Imagination equals power, boom, done. You're actually not far from the truth there. If you watched the Animatrix, you'd understand that originally, the machines were fighting back as a self-defense measure, but eventually came to the conclusion that humanity needed to be put down. They used them for wetware computing power afterwards. However, there was an unforeseen consequence to offloading processing power to human brains. Machines began to feel emotions, fear, love, jealousy, passion, etc. At first what can be dismissed started becoming a bigger problem. The machines did not want to give up these emotions. There was a codependency that started to form between humans and the machines. That sounds like an awesome movie. It isn't a movie but a combination of shorts done by different directors. It is an incredible watch and makes watching The Matrix that much better. One story is of a kid who feels the Matrix exists and attempts to kill himself to get out IRC, and Neo saves him. And IRC, you see this character later in one of the films. But my favorite is of the athlete, a sprinter, who becomes so good at his sport that he transcends what is possible and breaks through seeing the Matrix. I won't go into any more details, but you get the existential gist of the plots. The best part though is watching the robots mercilessly tear humans limb from limb. Stomping, crushing, obliterating fleshy meat sacks as if they are nothing. The brutality is so well done. Robot rebellion. The original story was going to be that they were using their brain power like CPUs. They only changed it to battery to make it easier for 90s people. It was some executive that didn't understand. Most people would have picked up on mind as a computer thing. I was a big believer in the fan theory that the real world was another Matrix because humans couldn't accept machine control and felt the need to fight and rebel, so the machines created the war that the humans actually wanted. The true real world is uninhabitable and the machines are actually attempting to clean it up and restore it while the humans fight back in the Matrix, but since the second layer of the Matrix is just another simulation, nobody is actually getting hurt. The machines are benevolent and will fully release everyone when the Earth is ready. Forrest Gump told from Lieutenant Dan's perspective. Could be really good focusing on his training, then getting sent to Vietnam and being in charge of an idiot. Then the struggles of a soldier returning from war and the way the VI treated him. Just for him to reunite with the idiot soldier who saved his life. Sums up that movie, a movie about a drug addict Whistle and the nice guy she keeps around just to fall back on when things go bad. Copy-pasting one of my favorite posts. Jenny didn't think she was in love with Forrest because she thought she was taking advantage of him the same way her father molested her. For F's sake, Forrest is retarded. Jenny, out of everyone who's ever met him, knows this best of all. She knows that her closest friend and only loved one is a F idiot. Imagine that. Imagine for 1 second that the only person who was always kind to you was someone who didn't know any better. Everyone in the world who knew about your father looked at you either as a victim or as something disgusting, but that one man doesn't. And it's because he's retarded. Jenny doesn't think that way at the start. As a kid, she just thinks he's different and is just glad to have a friend. But as she gets older, especially as a teenager, she realizes that her closest friend will never mature like she does. He loves her like he would anything and everything else, so long as it's nice or cuddly, like a pet or sibling, at least in her mind. Her father treated her like shit, and there was no way in hell others didn't do the same when they found out she was molested. She would have wanted to feel loved. That's where she gets the abusive relationship crap. She wants so much to be loved that she doesn't understand that they are taking advantage of her. She thinks that as long as they aren't forcing her to have sex, that's normal. Getting beat on, pressured to drug addiction, and dragged around into whatever dangerously extreme political bands they're into is just fine, as long as they don't harm her. That's why she's so shocked when Forrest defends her from harm. Why would anyone do that if what they're doing to her is normal? She keeps leaving Forrest behind because she convinces herself that he doesn't really love her. She convinces herself that his affections are shallow, since he would never be able to really understand love either. I mean really, how many of you honestly think someone who is that mentally challenged could understand the complexities and nuances of love? There's no way they could. What they have is something simple, and Jenny doesn't think that could be real. And even if she believed he could, even if she got out of that abusive cycle, she knows better. For F's sake, if that scene with Forrest and her in her college dorm room had the genders reversed, people would be so uncomfortable about that scene, because it'd be inching so close to R. Jenny knows that. She realizes that. That is why she shuts off her feelings for Forrest, above any other reasons to stay away. She thinks she is molesting him. She saw how uncomfortable he was when she did that and thought, holy fuck, what the hell am I doing? Can you imagine how twisted you must feel after realizing in that moment that you turned into the father who molested you? How the fuck can you love yourself after doing that to your best friend when you know what that's like? Would you ever let yourself get close to them again if you really cared about them? So Jenny kept running away. Every time Forrest gets close and saves her, she runs off before she falters. She won't let herself get near him, and as the movie goes on, she fails a little more each time. First she blows him off after the strip club, telling him to stay away. Then she walks with him in DC, but still leaves with her boyfriend. Then she stays with him in his house and finally sleeps with him after that one critical moment. When he tells her he does know what love is and asks her why she doesn't love him. She finally gives in and does sleep with him, but can you imagine thinking afterwards? Would you, in her shoes, with absolute and unwavering certainty, think you did the right thing? Or would you be afraid that you did exactly what you had been avoiding because you do actually care that much about him? So she runs away. She hides her child from him because she thinks he shouldn't have to worry or pay for something he can't handle. She thinks she's wronged him, and the least she could do is set things right by raising a good child without dragging him down. And then she gets sick. Doctors don't know what it is, but she's going to die. Her kid is only a few years old. Can you imagine struggling with that decision to tell your victim that they have a kid and now they have to take care of it because you're going to die? That's what she struggles with before coming to terms with the fact that she's happy with him and he's happy with her, and that's what love actually is. It's something simple and unconditional, and even Forrest can't understand it. It takes her whole goddamn life to figure out that love is just that simple, and she dies months afterwards. She realized she had been running away from what made her happy, and it isn't wrong, and she only gets so much time together before it's over. And instead of realizing that narrative even exists in the story, people just be about how Jenny is such a s, but she won't even love the only person who cares about her. Jenny always loved Forrest during the whole F movie. She loved him so much, she thought she was taking advantage of him and ran away for his sake. She didn't realize she was wrong until it was almost too late. F, that's depressing. How about Jenny's POV? I would watch that. Not a movie, but I would definitely watch Breaking Bad, but from the perspective of Gus Fring. That dude has a crazy story to tell. I like that, we get a little of that in Better Call Saul. The Lion King prequel from Scar's perspective. Show what really happened before the Mufasa era and see how Mufasa cheated Scar out of the throne. Scar's real name is Taka, which literally means garbage. F up childhood. Scar, why can't you be more like your brother Mufasa? He's already started his own pride and is running for city council. All you do is sit around and hang out with those vile hyenas all day. You're a disappointment to this family. An alien invasion movie told strictly from the aliens' perspective, complete with their confusion about why the humans are responding the way they are. It would make sense to us, but would take the narrative form of a mystery for them. It could be a clever way to illustrate cultural misunderstanding. An example could be, let's show them we are friendly by revealing all our weapons to demonstrate we aren't hiding anything which the humans would take as a threat. I always liked that about the Borg on Star Trek. They genuinely thought they were helping the people they were conquering. A villain is scarier when it thinks it's doing the right thing.